I had finished celebrating Mass and was about to exit the church when a parishioner approached me and said, "Father, my mother is a celebrity. She had her picture taken with the governor while getting her COVID vaccine. I'm sure the next time she sees you, she will show you the picture that appeared in the newspaper." Her mother had proof, unlike Jesus, who had to prove himself to the Jews in the scriptures today in the readings that we heard. But they were not convinced. And he tried to explain himself, but his explanation fell on deaf ears. You could almost imagine what they thought when Jesus said, "His hour had come," or "a seed must die before it produces fruit," or when he said, "When I am lifted up, I will draw all to myself." Maybe this last comment resonated for some familiar with how Moses was able to quiet the rebellion of God's people by raising up a serpent on a pole. Unlike those doubters who confronted Jesus, you and I are privileged to have seen and heard about Christ's death and resurrection. We heard how in facing death he uttered loud cries and tears to the one who could save him from death. We have had our moments when we were genuinely moved by our faith, but still retained moments of uncertainty and doubt. As I write these few lines, or as I was writing these few lines, I should say, I recalled an instance early on in my priesthood, when after weekly visits to a homebound parishioner who evidenced faith and belief, on her deathbed she despaired and feared passage to the next life. Well, as a young priest, I was taken aback by all of this. If only she could have believed that she, like Jesus, was in the dark night, free falling but not alone, because Jesus trusted that someone, his Father, would catch him before he hit the ground. Tears and doubts surface within many of us from time to time. And like Jesus in the gospel this past Sunday, we too will encounter moments when we are not in control of our lives or free from pain. And like Jesus, there will be moments in prayer when we experience loud cries and tears. It's during those moments that prayer is so critical. You see, prayer invites us to keep our eyes focused upwards. That's what we saw when what Jesus was doing. He entered the underworld of his own fears and doubts with his hand safely inside his Father's, and they were not walking alone. His advice to us today as we face our own fears and doubts, well, it can be found in John chapter 8, verse 29 that we heard at the end of the gospel today. "The one who sent me is with me. He has not left me alone, because I always do what is pleasing to him." God bless all of you and our families today.